We all agree that everyone is allowed to back their club, regardless if it's Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool, whoever. But at sometimes people call that delusion, right? Like sometimes people call that you're deluded. I don't think that what you're saying is true. I don't think that what you're saying is right. I think there is this or there is that. There is the reasoning for this and the reasoning for that. In this video, we're going to show the overlap when they had 3 sections about Chelsea, about Arsenal, about Man City. The very interesting conversation about Declan Rice and the capabilities of Declan Rice getting to a Ballon d'Or and actually analyzing Arsenal's season as well. Also, Chelsea credentials to win the title. When Jamie Carragher actually asked a question about that, I'm going to see the Chelsea fan response, which is a very good one until it reached one point. And also Luke, MCFC lad, the Man City fan, who's always in the overlap. And I think I like his content. He's a very good guy. But I just think that what he said has something that is different than the seasons before. But also, it's all related to the Arsenal and all the stuff and what is happening. And Arsenal on top of the table. I'm recording this after Man City actually won against Fulham 5-4. But at the same time, I'm going to show you a clip from talksport, which is Brad Friedel and Alexi Lalas, the 2 American pundits, were asked about the Premier League. These people get paid to go on shows and talk about the Premier League and analyze football matches and analyze games. And I'm going to show you how it is so hard for people to actually talk about football. And it's all about banter nowadays, sometimes. But before we go on, and you know the deal, just hit that like button if you're here. If you're for the first time, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers before the end of the year. With your help, we can do this. Every like counts. So 1 like for every view would go a long way. It looks like thumbs up. A comment goes a long way underneath the video. I try to read the comments. I'm going to ask you questions in the middle. And if you're new here, subscribe. So like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to know when we go live. We'll talk about the sponsorship later when you can get a shirt like this vintage one that I got from the website in front of you. So let's hear first the Chelsea section and what is there.
I think Maresca is getting the absolute maximum, if not more, out of the squad of players that he's got. But you're used to seeing Chelsea win the biggest trophies. You're still 6 points off the top, and obviously you're pleased because you're getting some great results in Europe as well, and Maresca's doing well as a young team. At what stage, as a Chelsea fan, do you become not pleased with being 6 points off the top? Is that next season where you go, OK, this is the season where we have to really go for it?
There's some Chelsea fans there right now, and that's because of the way that we have been built up. But yeah, I think next season's definitely the year, right? I can't go through all those players and say they're some of the best players in the world and then bottle out the title race next season. Of course, next season, Chelsea should be challenging for the title, and in my opinion, winning the title, because this is a collection of young players that not only are some of the best players in the positions, but are on those ridiculously long contracts. There's nobody coming in for Cole Palmer who's going to pay 200 mil. That doesn't happen in football anymore. Caicedo bought him for north of 100 mil. No one's coming in for him because the contract is so long. So next season's the year. But I'll point to a Chelsea team, and again, this is not me writing off this season, because I do think there is an element of, not vulnerability of Arsenal, but you mentioned about the places they've gone and not lost, but you played against, I know Liverpool's struggling, but the 3 other best teams in this league, in Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, haven't beaten any of them this season in the league. And so I do look at Arsenal and I see and Villa. And you play Villa next weekend, right? Yep. Not an easy team to play against. And so let's see, right? Liverpool would look out of it. But
my point about this, and I want to ask you the first question, is why is it about Arsenal? Is it because Arsenal are top of the league? I understand that. But why are they saying that there is vulnerability about Arsenal? Isn't there more vulnerability about City and Chelsea currently as it stands? To be honest, just my opinion, if Arsenal are top of the league, there must be the strongest team in the league currently. I don't think there is now a vulnerability about Arsenal. Them losing to Liverpool for a free kick, drawing to City and drawing to Chelsea. Still, Liverpool have to go to the Emirates and Chelsea have to go to the Emirates as well. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why is it vulnerability about Arsenal? What about City as well? But let's hear that last part of his analysis, because it doesn't make any sense, because this is borderline delusion. The next part, everything that he said before about the team and is spot on. The guy speaks very, very well. But let's hear that last part.
Well, all of a sudden, we'll win. They're only 3 points behind Chelsea. It's a close league this year, so nobody's out of it yet. And Arsenal, I think they need to be, by April time, clear of everybody to really win this league. Because I look when Chelsea broke through 04-05. It was a team that was emerging, right? The reason why we were so comfortable is because we were clear of everybody by December. Look at Liverpool 1920, a team knocking on the door for ages. The title race the year before was legendary, but the reason why it felt so easy for them in that 1920 season is because they were clear of everybody. First 18, 19 games of the season, there was nobody challenging them. I think for Arsenal, if it starts to get hot around March or April time and Chelsea are still in it, I'd back us.
He's serious. This is see the last part he said. He said he would back Chelsea, right? If Chelsea are close to Arsenal in April and March. Isn't that, if an Arsenal fan said that, I think that would be crazy. Chelsea, the last time Chelsea won the league or even competed for the league was 2017. I'm not knocking down the Chelsea team. I'm not. Chelsea are a very good team, and people actually sometimes call me that I glaze Chelsea too much. A lot of people say that. But I think that for Chelsea to win the league, they need to be ahead of Arsenal, not vice versa. The only team that probably can say that is Manchester City. But what basis? He's back in Chelsea if they are chasing Arsenal to win the league. What is he basing that on? I don't understand. But let's hear the part about, which is related to this part, before we go to the Declan Rice one. Let's hear Luke talking about the title race and what he thinks of City chasing Arsenal. And I'm going to tell you, this is an objective conversation that happened here. It's a very objective conversation about, are Arsenal favorites for the title? How do City fans see this title race? It is very important. But I want to hear your opinion about what Chelsea fans said. If Chelsea are chasing Arsenal, they would back Chelsea. I want to hear what you guys think about that. Let's hear Luke talk about City.
And I think we've done it time and time again. The treble year, I'm not saying by any means we're going to go and win a treble, but we look really poor. We were 8 points behind Arsenal at the halfway stage. They had 50 points after 19 games and finished on...
Number one, that's a lie. They were only 5 points behind us, 8 points with a game in hand. So the Arsenal will never 8 points ahead. And also that City team in the second half of the season was one of the best teams I have seen. To be honest with you, that second half of the season was one of the best.
84, was it? So I think City are always going to have an upturn in the second part of the season. If we can stay in touch with Arsenal, we've always got a chance, especially with players like Rodri coming back. We've had a lot of injuries as well. It's no excuse because we've been sloppy.
So why are you mentioning it if it's not an excuse? We've had a lot of injuries, it's not an excuse. Well, if it's not an excuse, you don't mention it. Basically, nobody gives Arsenal... Now, nobody says about Arsenal injuries. Gabriel Saliba out, Havertz is out, Jesus is out, Saka was out, Odegaard was out, and nobody's given that. And I'm going to repeat this again. You saying it's not an excuse, it doesn't make it not an excuse. He's saying that one of the reasons they're not performing well is injuries, right? This is basically an excuse.
Anyway, I think with a fully fit team, we'd have been sloppy. But Arsenal know that if we're up close and if Chelsea are putting on a bit of pressure as well, I think Arsenal are always going to have a downturn.
Do you think if you're 5 points behind now, if you could...
Why Arsenal will... I don't understand this again. Arsenal will always have a downturn. What is that based on? Is it because of... Unless they get injuries, I don't see this Arsenal team having a downturn. What is that based on? Is it based on the history? Because even in 2 seasons ago, a fully fit Arsenal went toe-to-toe with City, that I thought it's very fine margin that they lost the league. The season before, Arsenal even were not ready, and this looks like a different team. This looks like a brand new team for Arsenal, with the likes of Zubamendi, with the centre-backs, Calafiori being embedded here, now Eucharist. I think it's different. But let's hear the next question, because the Arsenal fan is going to get involved.
You could cut that to 2 or 3 by the time we sort of come out of the March international break. I know it's a long time, but that's when the real title run in. Do you think they'd bottle it?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it was 2 or 3, they'd still have to come to the Etihad in April.
By the way, I'm just going to say something about this. Jamie Carragher using the word, do you think they bottle it? It's very strange to me, because he never said that about Liverpool when they were in for the quad and when they won 1 league title under Jurgen Klopp. And again, it comes from a banter side. If City are 2-3 points behind Arsenal, basically that's not bottling, right? If you're 2 points behind, you're not bottling anything. You bottle the league if you're like 8, 9, 10 points ahead. Arsenal had a 7 points lead. But I don't think that word is ridiculous, because at no point last season Arsenal were top of the league. The year before, it was Liverpool who actually were top of the league. And, oh, Mo, why are you defending? I'm not defending Arsenal, because, by the way, even if Chelsea go ahead in the table, I don't think they're going to bottle it, because it's different. I think Arsenal should win the league this season. There is no excuse. You're not going to hear me say that. But it's all about the words you use. And that is my problem. So before we continue the video, and I actually hear, because this is the part of the conversation that Luke started talking about Arsenal and Arsenal, and he's not talking about City. Before we do that, make sure to like the video and also check out okjersey.com. You can get vintage shirts like this for Arsenal, for all the Premier League, all the European teams. Basically, go check them out. They're very, very good quality. As you see in front of you, this is one of them. Very affordable one. 15 pounds is not a lot. You can get ones for 15. There is tracksuit as well, a whole set for like 25 or something. It ships. They ship everywhere in the world, most places in the world. And use the code JUDGE to actually get 8% off. It helps if you use the code JUDGE to get 8%. Now let's go back to the videos.
I can't remember the last time they won at the Etihad in a meaningful game.
I think what's really interesting, though, this season is that City fans almost feel like they are relying on Arsenal to drop rather than actually pointing towards this team is good enough to just keep doing what we're doing and eventually overtake them.
I think that
even when you were behind us in that season that you mentioned, you were sort of saying, this team is so good, we will eventually catch up.
Yeah, but what you've got to remember is that the reason we're looking at Arsenal games where they drop points is because we're not winning the points ourselves. And you have dropped a few points, we've dropped a few points. But I think back to that treble year, like I said, you had 50 points that season. I remember on New Year's Eve, we played Everton at home, which was a poor Everton side, by the way, and we drew that game 1-1. And I was thinking, we're 8 points off them. Heading into the new year, Arsenal stomping everyone, and look what happened
We've
now.
got a completely different squad, though. Look, you can't keep looking back on years. This is a different Arsenal team, different Arsenal squad. Way better than it
won't be a different team until they actually win it, though.
Actually, this is the point that I actually disagree with a lot of people that analyze football. It is a different team. Unless you think that you're watching this Arsenal team and it looks similar to the Rob Holding team. And this is what I mean. Remember, Arteta is not bringing Eddie Nketiah from the bench. And I think that's what people actually fail to see sometimes. This is not the same team that won the treble. Doesn't have Kevin De Bruyne. It doesn't have David Silva. It doesn't have Leroy Sané. It doesn't have these players. Rodri is not even there. And that is what people fail to understand. Yes, City have done it before. And I'm not saying that they can't do it. But in the same time, when you analyze, and this is what I'm begging everyone, stop analyzing just analyze the team in front of you. Don't just be repetitive and repeat what other people say. They haven't won anything. They haven't won anything. Yes, analyze the team. We know it's a fact. I know that Arsenal haven't won anything. Right? I know that this Chelsea team was 6th, 4th, and 12th. It doesn't mean it's the same team. It's a different team with Esteban. It's a different team with Cole Palmer. It's a different team with João Pedro. This is a different team. It's City even are a different team. So I'm begging people to stop saying it's not a different team until they win it. I'm begging you.
Yeah, they're always going to have that.
Arsenal need to actually go and get a trophy because at the minute they're just pretty much bottle jobs with the Premier League. Everyone keeps catching them
You
up.
got another guy with whatever suit he's wearing. Again, what is this analysis? Arsenal got to go win it. We know that. Everyone knows this. Arsenal got to go and win something. Otherwise, they're a bottle job. Okay. Who do you support? I don't know who does he support. I don't know. I don't understand how do people analyze football like this. And I keep saying, yes, I'm saying that Arsenal must win this season. It looks like this season is their season to win it. I don't know who these guys support. What is that? What an interjection. Bravo. What an interjection. Bravo. Arsenal must win anything. Otherwise, they're a bottle job. Bravo. You won. You won the debate. It's nuts.
And that's a Geordie saying that in the
when he said that.
So
That's a Newcastle fan. Probably, or a Sunderland fan. It's a Sunderland fan. What is he talking about? Arsenal must win something, otherwise they're bottle jobs. What are you doing? How is football analysis is reaching that level? How? You know what? If you speak about the money, if you speak about Arsenal spent money, if you speak about Chelsea spending money, if you speak about Liverpool or whatever, yes. But they are analyzing the title race. They're talking about the football. Do Arsenal have vulnerability? I think it's ridiculous.
yeah, squad or not.
I know it's not my segment, but I think that people are way too...
And everyone now is laughing. It's a good joke. Bravo. It's nuts. But actually, it was a very good conversation between Luke and the Arsenal fan. I don't know who he is. I just saw the tweets between him and Lee on Twitter. I don't know what's his name. But in the reality is, this is a very good conversation that is ruined by that interjection. It's just ruined. There is no reason for that interjection. But now I'm gonna get you guys to the actual part of Declan Rice and the Arsenal midfield and what is said about the Arsenal midfield. I want you guys to hear this because I like this conversation. And again, it's not bad for you to back your team and back your player and everything. But I want to hear what you guys think about that take because some people think it's crazy. I think it's crazy as well. But I want to hear his reasoning. Now, let's hear this.
Yeah. But you've said that you think he's the best midfield player on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on, why?
I think that he's showing levels right now. Look, last time I was sat here, Paul Scholes looked at me in the eye and he said that Tonali was a better footballer than Declan Rice. And I don't want to disrespect Tonali here. I think he's borderline
Or Paul
world class. Or Paul Scholes. I think he's borderline world class, if not world class. But I was actually very happy when that aired because I think it sort of showed how overshadowed Declan Rice's brilliance is. What we're witnessing week in, week out from Declan Rice, I think it's freakish. You are getting a player that is guaranteed 90 minutes, 3 times a week from August to May, constantly running up and down the pitch. There isn't a single skill, attribute, nothing that he lacks, in my opinion.
I'm going to stop here and say something. By the way, Declan Rice doesn't lack anything in football. Declan Rice can pass, can play long balls, can shoot, can tackle, can do anything. My question is, for you to be at the highest level, actually, I think you need to be elite in a couple of things. For example, Andres Iniesta, elite in dribbling. Zidane, elite in dribbling and elite in passing. I want to ask you a question. Is Declan Rice elite in what aspect? In passing, he's fucking elite in the corners, in delivering set pieces, which is something that I'm praising. I'm not like other people. Actually being good in set pieces is a plus. It's something that I want my team to have someone that can deliver set pieces like this. But let's hear some of the other people that talk about this. I think it's the shout that Declan Rice might be one of the best midfielders. It's not a crazy thing in the world currently. He's not, maybe for me, he's not the best, but it's a conversation. And I hear what he's saying, but let's continue.
He's always good for a goal. He scans the game. His awareness is unbelievable. Tracking back, his decision-making flawless. Our top assister in the league. Constantly.
He takes corners, that's why.
The best set piece specialist. Why?
I don't understand how is Jamie Carragher. What is so funny about this? I don't understand what is wrong with Jamie Carragher. Seriously. Actually, corner kicks are a big weapon in your armory. It's a massive thing to be able to take set pieces. Because that is why people fear Arsenal set pieces. Because of the Declan Rice delivery, because of the soccer. I don't think that was funny. Genuinely. I don't think that was funny at all. And I don't understand what is the laughing point about this.
Why is that a discredit to his game?
You've riled yourself a bit.
Yeah, it's not a discredit to his game. It's a point. It's a plus.
Don't let him.
No, I'm not going to let him. Look, the thing is, Luke, when you make a good point, he likes to try and banner it off.
Okay.
You know that Declan Rice is the best on the planet, but the thing is...
He's not the best.
I don't think
No,
he is.
yeah.
Who do you have? I mean,
I love Pedri. I prefer midfielders like Pedri and stuff like that. He's probably the best.
How
in
many
the Premier
times a
League.
year do you watch Vitinha for you to say he's better than Rice?
No, mate. You've replied, so...
No, but I understand what you said about Declan Rice, right? He's amazing. He does things that catch the eye. But in terms of a midfielder, I want somebody who's brilliant on the ball. I don't even think he's the best on the ball in your midfield. Zubimendi, for me, is the key to Arsenal. And the fact that he got an early booking yesterday kind of took away from his game. And as a Chelsea fan, that's what I was focusing on before the game. I think Rice is amazing, right? Rice is incredible set pieces. He embodies everything you want from an English centre midfielder. But for me, when I want a centre midfielder, I want Kevin De Bruyne. I want somebody who's the best on the pitch on the ball.
But
I
think that's a little bit... We can all like different midfielders. And when Adam said Pedri, that's, yeah, and Vitinha, you just mentioned, but completely different players. So everyone's got their own strengths and weaknesses. But when you talk about Declan Rice, I've always said this, I feel like I'm watching Roy Keane, that type of player who can almost do everything. We sort of have midfield.
I actually disagree. I think Declan Rice has better ability than Roy Keane, in my opinion. Just better ability than Roy Keane.
Players now, don't we say, OK, he's the deeper one, he's the creative one. Or, you mentioned Zubimendi. OK, his job is to sort of, like, almost like what Busquets was, sit deep, get on the ball, get the team playing. So you like your midfielder like that. Somebody else likes a certain type of midfield player. But I think with Declan Rice, that's the best way I could describe him, where he feels like a Roy Keane to me, but he does all of those things, really. He just looks power. I never feel anyone can run past Declan Rice, even when someone tries to dribble past him. It's a bit like that when I used to watch Roy Keane. Stevie was like that. They had this power in this frame.
He's the most unbelievable athlete, though. I feel like you don't...
I think Declan Rice is fantastic. I'm just trying to throw out other midfielders. I don't think he's the best in the world. I think he's arguably the best in the Premier League. Would you Would you take Jude over him or from an England
I class Jude more as like a number 10, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the point. That
Who would you think that Jude Bellingham is better? I think they're completely different midfielders. Jamie Carragher's been objective here about this. I think that, yeah, Jude Bellingham is more of like the box crasher, the number 10. I think Declan Rice, arguably one of the best box-to-box midfielders because of the engine he has on him. And I like Declan Rice. I like actually watching him. I think he's entertaining. I think he's fun. I don't think he has the technical ability of a Zidane or a Vitinha. But I think he has other things, like the engine on him, the coverage. And I think he has good football IQ as well. The way he covers ground, the way he stands. I think he's going to be one of the best midfielders, box-to-box midfielders we have seen, actually, if he continues in that trajectory.
that's a really good point, because when we talk about midfield players, and we go to that debate, don't we, always, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, it's almost because we saw them as the goal-scoring ones. We see Keane and Vieira and Petit as almost like, no, they're just like centre midfield players. Do you understand what I mean? And there's like almost different midfield players now, because there's 3 players playing in there more often than not, isn't he?
Is Declan Rice caught up in between being, like, he's not an out-and-out attacking midfield, he's not an out-and-out sitting, he's kind of just caught up.
I think he's whatever the he wants to be, if I'm honest. He is our midfield. And people also underestimate the best ability being availability, and
yes.
he is always available. The past week we've just had, he played the whole game. Spurs, Bayern, Chelsea, didn't stop running end-to-end, creating chances, good for a goal.
Yeah, I saw Declan Rice running in minute 90 in all games, and it's actually nuts. Like, yeah, God gave him a massive, massive, massive engine, and he's using that to the max, actually. I want to hear the part about the Ballon d'Or thing.
Like I said, we underestimate how important that is. And also, when we don't have the ball, he is our leader without the armband. He's the one communicating with every player. You stay here, you go there. He is our captain. And like you said, it's like a Roy Keane, but people don't like to admit that because it's today's day and age. Everyone likes to look back. But what we're witnessing right now from Declan Rice, I think is revolutionary.
Oh, no. That's you've gone way too far. Revolutionary.
He's on track for a Ballon d'Or. If we win the league, if we win the league and the World Cup, Declan Rice will win the
That's a
Ballon
big
d'Or.
if.
That goes straight with
By the way, I just want to stop here. We had this on our live show about can Declan Rice win the Ballon d'Or? I think he can. If Arsenal win, but I disagree with said that about the league. I think Declan Rice will win Ballon d'Or if he provides moments like what he did against Real Madrid in a Champions League and Arsenal win the Champions League, and maybe England win the World Cup. I think there is a shout for him to actually win the Ballon d'Or, because Ballon d'Or might not be about the best player on the planet now. It's about moments. It's about what you offer to your team. I don't think it's a bad shout. I don't see it, to be honest with you guys. I don't. I want to hear, do you guys think that Declan Rice can win Ballon d'Or? Can we see it? I'm going to ask a question. If Arsenal win the league and England win the World Cup, and maybe Arsenal reach a semi-final of the Champions League, do you think Declan Rice can win Ballon d'Or?
No.
Arsenal favourites for the league.
I understand what you're saying,
World
but
Cup. Declan Rice.
Revolutionary is ridiculous. Like Jamie played with Steven. No, I'm sorry, I love Declan
not
Rice.
revolutionary.
He couldn't name Steven Gerrard's boots, and I think Declan Rice is amazing for today's day and age. He couldn't talk to Paul Scholes. He couldn't talk to Frank Lampard. He couldn't talk to any of those midfielders.
I think the midfielders you just mentioned there, they've all won.
But also, to be honest, to put that conversation in is disingenuous, because the career is not over, because his career is not finished. And that is one of the things that people don't talk about. Currently, I don't think he's Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard, right? But I think Declan Rice, if Arsenal continue like this, and the trajectory is up for Arsenal, and they win the league this season, they reach a Champions League final, and maybe they win a Champions League in the next years, I think Declan Rice will be spoken about one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League history. Genuinely. I believe that. I'm saying I am not Declan Rice's biggest fan, by the way, on the planet. And everyone knows this. I don't think he's the best on the planet. I think he's one of the best. I think he's using his abilities to the max. But I don't think that it's a bad shout to say that player that is playing for Arsenal can win Ballon d'Or. That can happen. I don't know why it is so hard for people to actually understand this. For the last part of this video, now they're going to continue about the season and all the stuff. You can go and watch the whole show on YouTube, of course. I'm going to actually show you what professional punditry has come to. Genuinely. This is one of the most ridiculous things that have been said again on YouTube. And hit that like button if you guys are still here. Subscribe to the channel. I know it has been a long video, but stick with me because this is a funny part.
Are you aware of where we're at the moment, how many games have been played, who's top of it, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously
top level, is Arsenal going to be able to finish this out? Right, that's the big question.
He literally asked him about the league, right? He asked him about who stopped. Do you watch the Premier? You can say I don't watch it. This is Alexei Lalas, American international that goes on Fox Sport. It's the biggest pundit in America currently. And his answer to how do you know the league was, instead of him saying, I think Arsenal are top of the league, they are good, right? I think City are chasing them, Chelsea showing signs, Chelsea play very good football under Maresca. You know what, Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, it looks like this is their year. There is a lot of talk about it. Just to go directly, again, it's the same thing. I hope that people stop analyzing football like this, because I can get a 10 years old kid to say the exact same thing that he said.
Is this the moment?
That's a great question.
Is this the moment? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Can they figure this out, or are they going to start to worry? And who's going to come up? And then the weak failure, different words that you're going to use when it comes to
Man United.
Yes, Man United, but that's that's like perpetual at this time, right? When it comes to Man United, I think obviously the surprise is the Liverpool and Manchester City and those types of things. But I don't think that this is done when it comes to the title. I know some other folks think that it's done. It's too far. They're going to finish it out. No, I worry that.
Why? Why do you feel like that?
They haven't done it. And I think that creeping feeling is going to come into each and one of their heads. It's like, it's there, it's within our grasp, and we can't screw this up. And I'm not sure that they have enough to get across the finish line.
I've not asked you, Brad, at all who you think's going to win the Premier League. Where's it going, the title in May?
I think Man City will catch Arsenal.
Do you?
And I think it's his right to say that Man City will catch Arsenal. It's up to him to think that. And I think what Alexei Lalas provided about the creep factor and all the stuff is fair. However, I didn't see a team that failed 3 times and actually went to be even better in the 4th year. This is Arsenal this season. They are better than the last 3 years.
I do.
Oh, Benny would love that. He's an Arsenal fan. He would.
I do, and there's something. I think Arsenal are the best team right now. I think they play the best football. I think when it gets to March, April, and they're still going in Europe and FA Cup, and if they just get 1 or 2 of the wrong injuries, Man City's already fallen down there on the men. They've already had their psychological dip, and I think they're gonna start coming up.
So what do you do? I'll ask both of you this. What do you do with a manager that spends £500 million?
So they're going to talk about Arne Slot now, but I just wanted to tell you how people analyze football is very strange. And I want to hear your opinion now about who do you think is now in prime position. Why do people say that City will catch Arsenal and win the league? What is that based on? Is that based on last season, which is City didn't win? Or is that based on 2 years ago? I want to hear from you guys, because it's kind of crazy to me how nowadays people analyze football. And I'm glad that I'm showing you the videos about it. I'm commenting on it. I hope that you like this type of content. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Make sure to like the video if you're still here, and also check out OK Jerseys if you're still here, as I said before, to actually get your football shirts. And I will see you guys in the next video, because this is crazy. I'm going to keep calling it out. We'll see you guys later.